Hi, yeah, I'm Janna Colton, here with Jeremy and Josh Davis on the Other Side Media Show. And they've invited me to talk a little bit about the Army, Navy, and Air Force, Duke of Edinburgh Unit 201 here in Belleville. I'm their publicity chair.
The Other Side Media Group and 91X now present The Other Side Radio Show, a program about people who make a difference from all walks of life in Quinte and beyond. And now here are your hosts, Jeremy and Joshua Davis.
Hi, and welcome again to The Other Side Live. I'm Jeremy T. Davis, along with Joshua Davis, and today we have Janna Colton on the show. Welcome to the show. It's wonderful to have you here today in the hot seat.
Hi, thank you, Jeremy, for inviting me to come on to the Other Side Media Show. And I wear a lot of different hats. I'm publicity chair for the Army, Navy, Air Force, Duke of Edinburgh Unit 201. I'm on the City of Belleville Accessibility Committee, and I'm also on Heritage Belleville, which is a committee of the City of Belleville.
Now, Janna, if I can first start out by asking you, what sets Belleville apart from any other city, in your opinion?
I don't know a lot about a lot of other cities. I travel to a lot of cities, but I've lived in Belleville for over 60 years. It's a medium-sized city that has a lot going for it. We have a council that actually do listen to people and try and do things. And there's a lot of stuff going on here. Not all of it is obvious, but Jeremy's invited me to talk about one of the big things that I do. And there's lots of places around and lots of things to do here.
Now, talk about putting you in the hot seat. The very first question, that was quite a question, Josh. Stepping back here, sort of speaking, Janna. Now, as you alluded to before we went to air, and also in the little promo, you are involved with so many, a vast number of community initiatives. But why is it, Janna, in your personal opinion, that you want to serve the community and beyond in this way?
Well, I've had a lot of issues that have come up. I was on the Heritage Belleville for a long, long time. And then I submitted my name for the Accessibility Committee because I was walker bound for about a year. And with lots of therapy, I'm able to walk better. But I'm slowly becoming more and more aware of things that are inaccessible in the city. And so I wanted to serve on that committee. And the Army Navy, I've been a member of the Ladies Auxiliary for the Legion for 47 years and moved over to the Army Navy and became involved because it's a cool place to go and there's lots of nice people there.
Now, I'm glad you brought some of your other vast experiences up in that answer. That was a great segue, by the way. Yes, you and I have had the distinct honor, I should say, I've had the distinct honor and privilege to not only know you over the years, but to serve with you on various committee of council, including, this term, the Belleville Accessibility Advisory Committee. As you alluded to in your answer, we go way back with Heritage Belleville, and you're back with that because, of course, always had a great passion for history and heritage. That was something that was instilled in us, especially by our late father, sounds weird to say late father, but he was instrumental. He was on LAC Act. As it was called before Heritage Belleville, and now this term, instead of being on Heritage Belleville, I have the distinct honor to be on the Glenmore. But so, out of all those things that you have done so far to date, or even some of the things looking back that we did together, what are you most proud of and why, Janna? And we'll go from there.
Okay, well, I think I'm proudest overall of the work that I did on Heritage Belleville, because we made a lot of things happen. Now with the Accessibility Committee, we are changing things around the city. We now have an award. We have a recognition award that we give out every late spring, and that's something that Jeremy and I have been influential in starting it up. We had our first award ceremonies last year, and this will be the second one. But each of the things that I do, I'm really, really proud of, and they're all historical in nature. I was on the Elmwood Cemetery Board for a couple of years, and made a lot of helpful ideas to them. And the Army and Navy, we started up a newspaper article that we were doing for a while. We have a Facebook page called Army and Navy Air Force Duke of Edinburgh Unit 201. And that's where my passion is now as well, is promoting the club, because it's a veterans club that's been around since 1935.
Now, just before I let Josh in here to do his take and follow up, presumably of what you just alluded to. I want to say, yes, there's so many things that you should be proud of, and you mentioned about history and heritage and legacy, but just a moment ago you mentioned about our veterans, and we owe our veterans so much. We owe them such a debt of gratitude. And so when you can be involved with a great organization as the Duke of Edinburgh and the Army, Navy, Air Force, the Unit 201, with their rich history, it is a great tribute or testament to those who have served and who continue to serve, just like every veteran organization within the city of Belleville. You know, our grandfather and many of our relatives in our family, and in so many Canadian families, have served in various capacities, and we must not forget that. And by keeping something like that going, it honors that rich legacy. And as we move forward into the future with our military service organizations as well.
Definitely, Jeremy, and it's something to be very proud of. Would you like to explain what's coming up at the Army Navy for the entertainment for the people that may not know, and we'll go from there, Janna?
And also, I think it's also important to note, there is excellent benefits to becoming members of the organization. But if you're not a member, you can still enjoy, come out and enjoy what they host, but come out, see if it's a great fit for you, and I'm sure you'll tell it is, and then you'll want to become a member and support their great initiatives and work. So tell us what's going on, what people can expect, and then we'll go from there, because we want to get more members and keep building on that rich legacy within the city of Belleville.
So the Army and Navy is actually busier now than it has been, and we have a lot of dart leagues. Some of them are already formed, but there will be a summer dart league starting the last week of May, and you sign up and you can play throughout the summer. And they have a blind draw doubles on the Friday nights that'll likely start up the end of May as well. But we have cornhole, we have darts, we have euchre on 2 Sundays a month. Now the first Sunday of each month for the next couple, there's going to be a bid euchre group, which a lot of people don't know a lot about. We have a lot of bands that come in. We recently had Rudy and the Saddle Ups up, and that place was jam-packed. And then we have the Shadows coming up, and we have Last Call coming up for Country and Western Night. So you
check the Facebook page.
Check the Facebook page, but say we do hall rentals. We have an upstairs and a downstairs that we rent. There's a youth dart league on Sunday mornings throughout the whole winter as well for the 8 and up. So there's always, and we have horse races and meat rolls on Saturday afternoons.
And what I want to get to now is I want to step back here, so to speak, and say we've been friends for many years. You've definitely made a difference in this community. You and Rick and your entire family. And I want to thank you ever so much for coming to my dad's memorial service. It meant a great deal to all of us to see many family and friends out to pay tribute to our hero, our father, Gordon Davis. And would you like to share some memories about our family and about our dad?
Yeah, so we've been friends of Jeremy and Josh's for a lot of years. I work at the Belleville Library, and every Thursday night, Josh and Jeremy and their father Gord would show up down at the library to type up things and print things off, and so I got to know them that way quite a bit, and then I got to know Jeremy on the Heritage Belleville Committee. And the other thing that I wanted to mention too is that I can be far-reaching, and when Jeremy wanted to have a bagpiper for the service, I was in touch with a friend who directed me to somebody else, and they called me within less than 24 hours, saying they would come in from Napanee and do the bagpipe their father in for the funeral service. So people know people, and you just have to reach out and ask, and people are usually around.
You were also part of our show and shine,
Or the Quinny Autumn Fest.
and the Quinny Autumn Fest.
Yes, we were going through the Other Side Media video archives, and yes, we had many festivals, many community festivals, and when we had the festival that ran for over 12 years consecutively at the old independent store that used to be Dewey's, now McDowell's. We had the community organizations there and charities, and you were there. I think that year you were helping out Heather and promoting the Quinny Humane Society at that time. So, okay, you want to add something to this?
Another hat that I wear is that I have a business that I run called Janbo's Puppets, and we performed at Jeremy's Autumn Fest, and we also did something at their Christmas jingle. I write puppet shows, and had the great pleasure of going and performing and introducing the kids to the puppets. And I also do, Josh mentioned Doors Open, and I've been part of Doors Open for as long as I was part of Heritage Belleville, and I drew the Army and Navy into doing it last year. And our president wants us to be as involved in the community as we can. And so we're doing it. We're doing it again this year. And the other thing that I do as publicity chair is I attend the Downtown Belleville Mingles and getting to know some of the other business owners downtown as well.
I was thinking in the early days, some of our Christmas parties, like when you were bringing that up, we had those Christmas potlucks and community dinners for all kinds of people, and Santa and Mrs. Claus was there, and a lot of kids.
Yes, and we are committed to continuing not only with other side media events and initiatives, but our own individual community initiatives with the city. I haven't. Doors Open, when you talk about Doors Open, Doors Open was always, I loved all my time with Heritage, but Doors Open was always one of the highlights. And so even though this term I'm not currently with Heritage Belleville after the many years, I intend to, whenever possible, come out and volunteer my time and help with different initiatives such as Doors Open. I remember when this last year, City Hall had their official 150th birthday celebration, and so the family was down, and I came in and got to meet everyone, and it's such civic affairs and everything about it is such a passion for me, and I've been on different things over the years that I am. People were asking questions, and some of the other volunteers said, "Oh, join in. We remember you doing." And so it's something that will always be there, and it's any way to give back, because, as I always said, and I loved how you phrased it when you've opened the program. Okay, we all have our own issues.
And crosses there.
Some would say crosses to bear in life, but we don't let that define us, and we're always working on ways to continue and give back. You've overcome many challenges, and so have we. And I truly believe the best is yet to come. We just have to embrace that feeling and that hope.
So actually, when Jeremy's talking about embrace, one of the other things that I do is I plan a conference for the Ontario Association of Library Technicians, and our theme for our conference this year is called Embrace the Future, because last year we had robots at the conference. This year we're having somebody talk about AI. We need to carry on. We need to embrace what our futures are going to be, and one foot in front of the other, and carry on with our lives to the best of our ability and what we've been taught, what we grew up to learn. It's we've been taught and trained to serve our city, to let people know what's going on around here. And Josh and Jeremy are icons of that as well, with all the stuff that they do. Well, they do a lot for the community, and some people don't, some people can't, but I love the city of Belleville. I love serving the veterans. What got me into a lot of it was that my mother was in the member of the Ladies Auxiliary. My grandmother was, my uncles, a lot of my family, including my brother, served in the military. And one of the things that my mother loved was going to the Elmwood Cemetery. And every year they have a Remembrance Day service there on the Sunday before Remembrance Day. And I became involved in helping with that and promoting that. And they put flags on every veteran's grave, and there's over 200 veterans that are out there. And so it warms my heart to bring that information to the people, and through the Army and Navy. People don't know where we are. There's 2 flags in the front of the building just up from City Hall. And
it's 187.
At 187 Front Street. And, there's 2 flags, and we're flat against the storefronts. But our doors are always open to anybody at any time. And you don't, as Jeremy mentioned, you don't have to be a veteran to come in. We have a couple of bands coming up. One's called Last Call, which is a country and western night. We have the Shadows coming, and they come regularly to the club. We're always having something going on. It's busy 7 days a week now.
Given the opportunity, Janna, you and Jeremy are on the accessibility committee, and I don't want to be the devil's advocate here, but would you ever like to get some people together and do a deputation and say to the city council about some changes you'd like to see to improve our city or not?
Well, we have an amazing accessibility chair down at City Hall. And when we get together as a committee and meet, we discuss a lot of things and the changes that we want to see. And a lot of the stuff goes to City Council through her, because she knows AOTA, and Nicole is absolutely. Jeremy said she's fabulous. They do the deputations, and we need to take things one step at a time at trying to make the changes, because she does the research.
Do you think attitudes are getting better towards accessibility, or something that we have to work on? I don't want to sound negative, but I can see both sides of it, being in a wheelchair.
Well, so can I, because I was in a walker. I was walker dependent for quite a while. Yes. And unfortunately, it doesn't matter whether it's accessibility issues or racism issues or whatever. There's always going to be people that are negative. Yes. And we need to continue to promote the positive. We need to find out what is going wrong and try to make the changes. One of the things that we're doing to make some of the changes is we have the accessibility awards. People can nominate places that are doing it, and what the committee decided was we needed to look on the positive side and award people with recognition for being accessible, and it would encourage more and more places to be accessible. The library last year got an award for the multiple languages in the elevators. We now have accessible buttons for me to get in and out of different parts of the library.
Janna, that some people just need a little sensitivity training. If they're not aware of the fact of people with disabilities of any nature, you think they just need a little sensitivity training?
Well, I don't know that we can actually train other people, but we can influence them. By which what we're doing with these awards is you're doing something. We just put sliding glass doors in the library, so that's something positive, and we need the business. Somebody actually came to me from Tropical Blends on Pinnacle Street, and they were saying they wanted to be able to have accessibility into their building, and Nicole gave me the information, and I called them and told them, you can buy these mini collapsible ramps that you can put in your door front so that people can get in. So we need to communicate, we need to depend on the positive, not the negative.
I'm glad you brought up about the Accessibility Excellence Awards. That initiative that was born out of an idea from a discussion that I can remember that day when I tried to open the dialogue with my fellow committee members and said, yes, let's turn potential negative experiences in life into something positive, and let's do something that honors those that go above and beyond in an outstanding nature to promote and foster accessibility, whether it's built environment, whether it's through education, whether it's through communication, whether it's through transportation, customer service, those types of things. And so when we get that good news out there, and then other interested parties see it, then they can feel, well, we want to be a part of that too. We want to be the change that we want to see within the world. And so I'm very proud that, we've adopted that as a committee and as a city. And this year's nominations are already open, and they're open until, I believe, May the 8th. And then the awards will be presented on May the 27th. The ceremony is open to the public. It's at the Quinte Sports and Wellness Center in the multi-purpose room, and I believe it starts at 11 a.m. Till noonish, and we may have some, we did last year, we'll have some refreshments likely, and so please come out and support and see what we're doing.
And so we talked a lot about businesses being nominated. One of our winners last year was Lisa Cheshire from the Accessibility Park. So if you know of anybody that's doing things within the community as an individual and not just not a business, there's a space for you to nominate them as well. Belleville.ca and look at the under Accessibility Committee, and you'll find the access to the nomination form, and you can submit it. And Jeremy and I have the pleasure of being on the committee that will help select the winners with Janet Richards and Rick Wills.
We're excited to see who some of the honorees will be and the award winners, and you can be part of it. So act today, because as we have said before, and we said at last year's program, the way this works is these are your awards. We can recognize what's going on in our city, but we cannot nominate. So you've got to get your nominations in, submitted to us and the committee, and we hope to be able to be presenting something to you, or at least honoring you with a great mention for the work you're doing. And for now, this has been the Other Side Radio Show. I'm Jeremy T. Davis.
Thank you for this wonderful talk with our good friend Janna, and also happy birthday to the two of us. It's our birthday weekend. So God bless you, buddy. I love you from the bottom of our heart.
Well, I was going to say that. I didn't know if we wanted to date this episode. But yes, happy birthday. I'm blessed to be your twin brother. I love you too, Josh. Thanks. Oh, okay. All the very best. Please come back. We'll see you next time on the other side. Cheers. Bye for now.
The Other Side Radio Show is a production of the Other Side Media Group in association with 91X. You can connect on Facebook at the Other Side Media Group, Instagram at Jeremy Tyler Davis, or on YouTube at Jeremy T. Davis, Belleville, Ontario for on-demand episodes and more. Tune in next week for another episode of the Other Side Radio Show.